So people have been asking on the Discord a lot about how the top 100 players get to their top 100 rank. And some of us are able to get there through free-for-all games. But that's not everyone. And certainly does not apply to me. So I have decided I'm going to start a YouTube series teaching how to play 1v1s. Am I the most qualified teacher? Probably not. But by teaching, hopefully, I'll learn how to play better myself. So, these are the settings I am most accustomed to. For the United States, I like manual placement on, 60-second turn timers, fog of war on, blizzards on, alliances on, ranked on, and no minimum rank, no maximum rank. Maximum rank kind of comes into play, and I will show that later on in the video, but for now, we'll ignore that one. And of course, balanced splits. So why not true random? True random is just anything can happen. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing. It tends to skew slightly defensively, which makes it a good thing. The bad thing is, it is unpredictable, and if you get a bad roll, it can end your game. So, usually you don't want to go true random, and you just want to accept the fact that balance splits, for all intents and purposes, is more reliable than true random. At the end of the day, what matters most for ranking is your win rate. And if you can't reliably get a win, then you should not use the settings. Anyway, so I've seen some people use auto placement. It's not necessarily bad, it's just unreliable, you know? And then progressive instead of fixed, that's a preference thing. You can do one way or the other. I find progressive to be more reliable than fixed, but that's just me. Fog of war on. That's mostly so if they make a mistake, you can capitalize on it without them noticing until it's too late. Blizzards, kind of the same idea. It's easier to make a mistake with blizzards on, but it's also easier for them to make a mistake. Ranked on, of course. And alliances, it's rarely useful, but when it is, it's great. Personally, I use easy bots because they pretty much just refuse to attack. So we don't want to play him because his win ratio was rather high. You, generally speaking, want to play people that you know you will win against. And as much as I hate to say it, I do not know that I'll win against that one guy. While I do know I should be able to win against him, based on his 1 to 5 win ratio. I will play, for the most part, anyone with 1 to 4 or less. But that is just where I personally set the bar. You can set the bar wherever you want. Just keep in mind you have to win a lot more than you lose at some point. And sometimes this will happen too. You pretty much cannot rely on a game ever. It's like 1 in 4 that actually ready up. And a little tactic I do is most people won't join a game if they think it's a 1v1. They will join a free-for-all game. And sometimes what you can do is you can sneak 2 bots in there. They'll join the game, and then you'll take out the 2 bots and play. I don't know that guy. I should have checked it out. That was a bit of a mistake on my part. So, sometimes you gotta learn by your mistakes. Let's see if he readies up. He does ready up. This just got interesting. Who am I playing against? This will definitely be an interesting game. Not what I was gonna do for my first game on the YouTube channel. But hey man, it works. So, in general, what you want to do is, first of all, you want to get a continent. If you can get a continent, you win by default. But that's not always possible, and you shouldn't expect a continent. Your secondary thing you're going to be going for is trying to get what I call a chain kill. Especially if you're going first. Second, you're more or less trying to avoid getting chain killed, but it helps to have some of your own too. What I am referring to as chain kill is, let's say I put, I don't know, 8 troops here in Pennsylvania, and then I hit up, right, down, here, and here. I can do all of that in one turn and decimate every single territory that's over here. And by doing that, I lower his territory count, which means I lower his troop input. And that's huge in 1v1s. That's honestly almost everything. So what you want to do is you want to force every opportunity for them to mess up in one way or another. And now what we really want him to do is take Nevada. That way. And there he goes. So there's another chain right there. Rather small one. We're probably not going to be able to capitalize on it. And I like Missouri as my capital in the United States. This is just a general overview. I will explain the United States playstyle at some point. For right now, we're just doing general overviews of 1v1s. So, as you can see, we have a chain here, and I believe a chain here. Let's see. Well, yeah, so we have a total of 3 chains, which is very good. Honestly, that's better than typical. So what we want to do at this point is just grow all of these. The bigger they are, the easier it is to hurt this guy. And that's what you're trying to do, essentially. So it would be sweet if he took this and this, but unlikely. So I'm certainly not going to count on that. And let's see what he does. Yeah, alright, so he takes Louisiana. That's not a horrible move. But it does make this chain longer when, you know, it inevitably happens. At this point, what would be smart is taking all of these territories that are out of the way. That way he can't take them. But she's going to try and do the same thing. Maybe. Don't prove me wrong. Actually, do prove me wrong. That'd make that life easier. So, I think no matter what we do, we can get up to here. Yeah. So we're going to make Missouri our capital because we have a nice little line here, a line through here, and then we'll just throw some troops over here so we can manage this. Honestly, probably 7 would be plenty. And I'll explain numbering later. Actually, I might as well explain that now. So, how you get numbers, or how many troops you need to put somewhere in order to accomplish an objective, is first, you see what exactly you want to do. Like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take New York, and then I'm going to take here, here, down here, and here. So, how you figure out how many troops you need to accomplish that objective is your base is 3. So you need 3 troops to be able to take 1 territory every time. And then for every territory on top of that, you only need 1, which is why chains are so important in the first place. So I will need 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there we go, 7. Actually, we're going to put in 1 extra. So the reason I put in 1 extra is sometimes, actually not even sometimes, more often than not, troops will die as you go. You just can't see 100% efficiency. It doesn't happen. So you got to be ready for the occasional troop death. Okay, so we have a cap in Louisiana. That makes my life a bit harder, but we can work with it. Most importantly, we can't let this 7 go this way. So 4, nope, we want, 4. Gotta take my turn quick. That's unfortunate. Bad rolls happen though. And now you'll see both the 13 and the 7 only can go really in Oklahoma, Kansas, and into the capital. And that will never be enough troops to take the capital. So pretty much at this point, there's not a lot he can do. He has to break here, up here, and here in order to win. And the odds are just not on his side. He might be able to. This is definitely the right split to get it done, other than here. That was way too many troops. But other than that, it was definitely the right split to get this done. Okay, yeah, so he accomplishes it. But this 13 and this 6 are still both locked here. So, what do I do? We have to put 4 here, because this and this cannot stay. I cannot let it stay, or I will lose. And we don't want either of these territories dead. And what do we want? I think we take up here. So we're just going to run that up. Sweet, we have great dice there. So that's actually all we're going to do, and we are going to fortify here. So now it's going to be very hard with his 5 troops to be able to take up here in New England, which means I'm at least putting in 1 bonus troop that he cannot counter. Probably 3. And let's see how the dice work out for him. So I will not be putting in any bonus troops. Yep. That happens every once in a while. Every once in a while your opponent gets good dice. Nothing you can do about that. But you see how that 5 isn't going anywhere? Because of that, I'm going to be putting in 9, which he put in 5 for reference. It's little things like that that make a 1v1 much harder or much easier to win if you know how that goes. And that's unfortunate. That was 90% win ratio. But I still shouldn't have chanced that. I know better. So, the rule of thumb for what can be 100% taken and what cannot be is it is the number of troops on the territory that is being attacked. And you take that, you add 3, and then you double the amount of troops that are on there. This works until you get into like 20s, and then things change a little bit. So that's not a end-all be-all, but if you want a rule of thumb, there you go. Now, what he's going to do is he's going to probably try cap splits, 16 on 16, since I have over here and over here. This is where luck comes into play more than anything else. And no, he doesn't. So we should be able to just win next turn then. Alright, we finally got that troop. So, I'm not entirely sure if that's 100% odds. So, we can always check our odds real quick. Yeah, no, I'm not going to risk this win over not 100% odds. 9 and I think we put 8 here. Cool. So this 12 is still trapped, and it can only be 17, which means he can only outnumber my capital by 1. Generally, you need double what's on a capital in order to take the capital. And he's going to kill these 2, which means next turn, we just cap splits and win. There's a 0% chance of 12 killing 16. We have nothing to worry about there. There you go. Alright, so at this point, we just hit that capital, take it, and win. Eventually, once he ends his turn. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed today's video on how to play 1v1s going first. I would appreciate it if you dropped a like and subscribed. It matters a lot, especially for a new channel like this one. So, thank you for your time. I hope I taught you something, and I personally learned a little bit myself. Have a nice day, everyone.